Welcome everyone to episode 50 of DM Podcast. Unfortunately, this is the final episode, so the lads have got tissues ready for the final tears, because I know Mick is an emotional guy. Look at him, he's nearly crying already. Episode 50 of the podcast, where we talk all about previous week's news, about the taxi, Uber and general trade. We are live for the final episode. We've got a few people now in watching, so thank you for tuning in, guys, on the live. They can kind of include themselves if they want. But technically, we're just generally talking the episode, and then we're going to sit off at the end and have a little gab with the community before it ends. So as per usual, guys, let's just start off with the pod nice and simple. What have you been up to? So let's go with Marcus.
Working?
Yeah, shocker.
Shocker.
I
haven't been doing Uber, though. That's the thing. I've not done Uber for about a week.
Really? So you're just happy enough with it?
Yeah, I've been too busy on privates, yeah. But I'm going to shock now. I'm away tomorrow till Thursday, so I'm off for 2 or 3 days. I'm nice, relaxing.
Are you driving yourself to the airport?
Not going abroad. We're just doing Tattershall Shore Lakes for a bit.
Nice. We're going away at the end of the year, and after that, it's costing us too much money. It's skinting us for like a year and a half to save up for this holiday. So from after this year's holiday, we're going to start going more caravanning and lakes, and where we can drive and save a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? So it is a good way of celebrating, isn't it? So have you noticed an increase in the airports these months? Like
the last couple of weeks, yeah.
Starting to pick up for you now.
Yeah. The bloke who runs the firm is that busy. He had to get other companies involved. So
really, yeah. Wow, flipping heck, fair play. How about yourself, Mick? What have you been up to, mate?
Nothing really. Uber.
You've just been doing a bit of Uber?
Yeah.
Today?
Fed up. Just counting the days down to where I'm getting
out of it. That, innit?
Are you fed up with Uber, or are you just fed up with the taxis?
Yeah, fed up with the taxis.
How many years now, Mick? Because obviously, final episode of the podcast, and it's going to be a final couple of weeks for Mick's career.
2007.
18.
Wow. 18 years, Mick?
No. 2007's. So it was 2010. So 15
years.
15 years, mate. That's a long time. That like, are you gonna keep a plated vehicle? You're not even just gonna you're just gonna keep your badge live though, because I always tell people to keep the badge live.
The badge will stay live. It's pointless letting it run out, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Although, well, once I get out, I don't think I'll
come back.
Even if I don't fully qualify, at the end of the year, start of the next, I don't even see myself coming back onto the taxis. I'll look for something else, to be totally honest.
You're just done with this part of your life now?
Yeah.
What are you leaving more than anything? Is it the money or the inconvenience, or would you rather have a bit more structure going forward now? Would you like a 9 to 5 job or something?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the hours, isn't it? I just don't like the hours. Like
you're tired today, aren't you? What time did you get up this morning?
It's because I shit the bed this morning.
Physically or emotionally?
No, just...
We're live, Mick, by the way.
I just woke up at, like, body clock. Last two days I've been on, like, 5 a.m. starts and going to work at 6. And I just woke up 5:15. I had an alarm set to wake up anyway.
Yeah.
At, like, 5:45 to see if I could be bothered. It was one of those, if I wake up, I'll wake up. But I woke up off my own bat. 5:15, got out at like 5:45, 10 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Worked up till I had to take the kids to school, which I finished at 8, just before 8 o'clock. I done 40 quid. Oh.
Bleed hell, mate.
We got sleepy Mick today, haven't we?
Done 40 quid in like an hour and a half.
Oh, you can't be grudged that, can you? Was it just a bit of luck? Was it just back to back? Do you know what though? What was yesterday? Always the night after the thing, and was it the footy last night?
Yeah, Liverpool played their own yesterday.
Normally the night after the footy's going to be a bit mad.
Don't you think you're going to miss the freedom?
No.
And again, no, Mark, seriously though, mate. How much people say freedom with Uber to a certain degree, but you're losing the freedom with Uber now anyway, because you can't just work a shift you want. So you've got to chase the money. But Mark, so how much freedom have you got today, lad? Are you having a nice like sleep tonight, or?
Well, me tonight.
Yeah, are you going to have a pint tonight about 9 p.m. and have an early night?
I had a good drink this weekend. That's what weekends are for.
Yeah, but I mean, like tonight, you're going to have a nice sleep tonight, or?
No, well, I got bed early tonight, but I'm off for 3 days, aren't I? So I enjoy it them 3 days off.
No, but I mean, did you get my whole point down? You say to a certain degree,
Yeah,
I
know what you
miss
mean.
flexibility. Do you know what I mean? But you've got jobs every 3 hours for like 24
What I mean
hours
by
a day.
freedom is if whatever crops up, you can just drop it, can't you?
Yeah.
Whereas
No,
I can do that. Yeah. I can do that in this job.
But you'd have. What happens if you've got? I don't know. What are you doing? 9 while 5, 9 while 4.
Thereabouts, yeah.
So what happens if something crops up at 11 o'clock?
Well, then I'll just
You have to drop. I know this. That's the reason why I like doing taxis, because it's the freedom, really.
How often does something crop up?
In my life, every day.
You don't give jobs away for it.
I have done.
How often do you give work away?
I gave one job away last week.
I had a really serious car crash. In 1 sec, I've got 2 man-ears, yeah? I've got East Midlands. I will check in on you Thursday, 2 a.m. No, listen, I do get you about the flexibility. It is a valid thing.
But on the other hand, I do need structure. I do need structure, because
that's where the airports come in.
If I haven't got any airports, I'll say to the missus, I'm going out at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to do Uber. 7 o'clock, I'm still in bed.
Yeah.
But whereas airports, I'm up.
I was talking about this the other day, and literally the flexibility comes in on your Uber and your general taxis. So like just say you're working this morning, something pops up offline, and off you go. But like I've got work booked in this week, and just say like the wife goes, "Oh, do you want to go to the pictures?" I've got to check my calendar or something like that and see where my gap is. If you're fully booked of work, so to a certain degree, it's not as flexible as people make out. The airports, anyway, where the Uber is. Oh, do you want to do something Thursday night? Oh, I'll work Thursday morning then. Do you know what I mean? So I think Uber's flexible, and I think Uber or like general taxis has got the freedom of the trade, but I don't think the airports to a certain degree have.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean, they're scheduled in. Because you asked me, like, I've got a couple of jobs in on the Bank Holiday Monday for the parade. If she goes, "Oh, do you want to go out for the day?" Can't. I've got 3-4 jobs on the parade day. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of flexible, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? To a certain degree. But I think once you've done as many years, sometimes you fizzle out, don't you? And myself personally, I can do the airports, I can do the schedule. I know I've got a job later on, I can happily go out and do it.
Yeah.
But if you tell me later, after you've done the podcast, going online on Uber, 5 minutes, if I don't get a job, I'm back offline again. That's where my struggle is.
Yeah.
It's the general Uber and the taxis, do you know what I mean? But by the way, while we're talking about Uber, this week, I don't know if you've seen online, something to do with the Bolt Uber VAT HMRC case, right? They've HMRC has paused Uber paying VAT on the total fares. They're only paying VAT on the commission, right? So what they're saying is technically Uber can either drop the passengers' fares even more because they're not charging VAT on it. They can either charge the customers the same and pay the drivers more, as in take less from the drivers, or are they going to just keep the extra to themselves and put it in their pocket? And that's what I want.
Do you think?
Oh, listen, in this scenario, I'm reading out the question, boys, and then you can answer it. Do you know what I mean? The 3 scenarios is, I can't see them lowering the fares. I think the fares are low enough. Customers are like gobsmacked when you get in the car and go, "Can't believe it, guys. Is this only 20 quid? Do you know what I mean? So I don't think the fares will go any lower. So they got a choice of either giving the drivers 20% more of the fare, or them keeping them 20% more of the fare and put in a little bank. What do you reckon going to happen there? Because obviously something's going to happen. Because I think they don't have to charge the customers VAT no more. Temporary hold. What do you reckon, guys?
Go on, Mick.
I mean, what do you think's going to happen?
Don't you reckon they're going to give us all 20% pay rise?
Oh, yeah, we're going to get more money. Oh, yeah. As if.
I done a video on it last night. It's got like nearly 2,000 views. And everyone said the exact same, mate.
Of course they are. It's just a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah. See, I reckon because they've obviously have been paying VAT and it's probably been killing them financially, they're probably going to take the 20% back and try and clear some of the backlog of it, or put it away just in case the court case gets lost and they've got to start paying VAT again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Realistically, I can't see them just going generously going, yeah, drivers is next to 20%, my bad. Because they're getting away with it now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you agree with that, Mark?
It'd be nice if they did, but it's very much doubted.
You might increase it a little bit. You know,
I don't
split
think,
it.
I don't think we'll see anything from it. To
What?
be fair.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, why would they increase it a bit?
Because they're generous people, mate.
No, they're not.
They're only going to do what's best for them, aren't they?
American company cares about Bob in Liverpool, isn't he? Oh, Bob's looking a bit skint. Let's film an extra 10%. No, you reckon then, no?
No chance, mate. No chance.
So you're glad to see the back of Uber, Mark?
Oh, what?
Are you glad to see the back of Uber with all your privates? Or did you miss it?
Yeah, because it's better money. The miles I'm doing is better money. But then saying that, I did a Heathrow on Saturday. And they charge about 280, 285 to go down, right? So I just thought, when I sat waiting, I thought to myself, because I was picking up, well, how much it'd be if I got an Uber from here back to home? It was going to charge, it was 185 quid, right? But then I got 15% off. So I was paying it was going to be 160 something quid. So over £100 cheaper.
Is there any tolls between Sheffield and Heathrow? Because we got the M6 toll.
No.
So you just got the what's the pickup
just the
charge?
car park fee.
£7, £6. What's Heathrow? £6.
£7.50.
Is it? Yeah, £7.50. Yeah. So there you go. So you're talking 160. How many miles is that?
About 188.
Do you know what I mean? It's so close to £1 a mile on the passenger side, though.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy.
But how much did the driver got out of that, though? Do you think the driver would have got more?
No, I think the driver would have got the same. So I've been doing it like in a little mini series on TikTok and Instagram. It's going really well. I've been getting sent like bad jobs or good jobs, and then I'll do a video and say, "Would you do this job?" I don't know if you've seen them, right? And honest to God, mate, there's so many Heathrow jobs that are coming in, and driver side, right? From Heathrow, there's one that come into Liverpool, and it's literally. I thought London would be paying the drivers more money, if you get me.
Yeah.
Because obviously the expenses of London.
Yeah.
Let me find it. What's that noise? Oh, is that you vaping, Mick? I can hear that, lad. Yeah. Hey, look at that. So what you're saying there, 233 quid, Heathrow, yeah, going to Liverpool, 214 miles, and he's paying the driver 230. I reckon that's what they're. I don't reckon they make. I reckon Uber makes most of their money on the short journeys, mate.
Yeah, of course they do.
You know, your little foot. Like you notice, you know, the minimum fare for Uber is about 5-6 quid. You know, it's not cheap. If you want to go round the corner, Mick, as a passenger, you're talking 5-6 quid, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not like 3 quid, is it? But you'd always pay the driver 3.40.
Well, it's like now. I've just checked how much it is now from Heathrow to my house. Now it's actually gone up to 207 quid. £200.
Right. Yeah.
So on Saturday, it was 16. I think it was 168 or 165. So that's a lot of difference, that, isn't it? 35 quid.
Honestly, mate. Honestly, it is still cheap, that though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, listen, we need to ask a bit of a personal question.
Oh dear.
Right, it's an hard one. Don't crash yourselves up, right? Obviously, don't be flopping your penis out in front of schools and that. Peeing in the car. Right? A driver, I didn't know this, you can lose your badge over getting caught peeing. Right? And this driver nearly lost his badge because he got caught peeing at 4 a.m. on like a security camera, right? And because he had diabetes, which affects your pee, he got away with not getting banned. I didn't know you can lose your license over peeing in the street. Did you know that?
So he got out of the car and started weeing.
Yeah, at like 3, 4 in the morning though.
Yeah, but I thought you could wee on your back tyre.
Hackneys can, but I thought that's like a weird UK bylaw or something where Hackneys can. I don't think we can.
I think that's like a 60s rule, wasn't it?
But why would you lose
Yeah.
your licence though? It's got nothing. It's got
you-
nothing to do with your taxi licence.
Because you can lose your license. Like if you got nicked, like if you got caught punching someone or something like that, and your taxi was in the background. So what they say
If
is,
they stood in the, you know, when you're driving down the dual carriageway and you see a group of lads, say they're going to a football match, there's a coach, they get out and they're weeing on the grass verge. I get that because it's indecent exposure, isn't it? Because but if you go behind a tree and they can't see you, then come on.
Yeah, but what they're trying to say is, right, with our licence, while we're on duty or off duty, we still have a duty of care because what we do is a job. And that's what they're trying to say. So even if we do something and I'm not even working, we can still get in trouble with the licensing. You know what I mean? So if I have a fight, personally, nothing to do with the taxi licensing, I could still get in trouble if it hits the news or whatever, because I've got a duty of care, being a licensed, like, professional, do you know what I mean? Kind of vibe. That's what the kind of thing is. So what do you do, peeing then, on your long journeys? You just hold it in and hit Heathrow, or do you pee out the window, pee out the bottle?
I just wet myself.
Yeah, that's it. Just put heater seats on, dry it up.
No, I plan it, and I know where the services are. Yeah, there you go.
What about you, Mick?
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm wholly innocent and I haven't pissed in the street before.
Whoa. No, but seriously, you're getting out the trade, so you're good. Pee away, Mick, pee away.
No, I have done, but I'm not like flashing it round schools and everything else.
Like you out on a driveway, on the driveway.
Yeah,
like
on Queen's Drive in the middle of the... while everyone's flying past, I'm not... Don't make it obvious, you know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, I will, 90% of the time, if I can go into somewhere where there's a toilet, I will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? Some places don't allow you pee if you don't buy something. Some places are shut overnight, especially if you're doing nights. Like that fella at 2 a.m. He could have dropped off at a building estate or like in a housing estate. There was literally nothing for 5 miles to go for a pee at 2 in the morning, like a garage or anything. And he needs to go.
So where was he then?
In what way? I don't know. He just got caught on the CCTV. I don't think he was in like a...
If there was CCTV, he must have been in a built-up area.
No, he could have been on the industrial estate, couldn't he? I can't remember where it is, but I think it was up in Middlesbrough. I can't remember. DM News, go read the article yourself, guys, because I can't be bothered looking for it. But anyway, that's I just wanted to bring it up with the peeing, because myself personally, if you do get caught short, I don't think you should be losing your licence over it.
No, I don't.
There's this little time, there's this little, like, sometimes you can be like, oh, I think I need a wee soon. I'll tell you what, I'll take another job and then I'll see where it gets me. Do you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And then...
You get a half-decent job.
Next minute, you're like that on your seat. That's what trying to keep it in. Do you know what I mean?
Switch from cheek to cheek as you're driving. Oh, man, I've got a major baby bladder, mate. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Mad.
Oh, man, I drink a lot, though, mate. Like, I drink a lot. Oh, let me tell you this, quick, before we move on. So, someone I know was getting a taxi home, got an Uber, from a wedding to his house. Now, this is like, I'm not even joking, I was gobsmacked. He phoned me up. I went, hey, Matty. He went, Uber, because there's not much about Uber. Older fella, Uber was 18 quid home. Right? And I went, yeah. And he went, when I woke up this morning, it was 9 quid. And I went, no, it can't be. You must have read it wrong. He went, no, 18 quid. It was 9 quid when I got up. I went, tell me what happened. He went, so I got picked up by this fella. Didn't speak much English. He seemed like he was quite new on the road, so you know what I mean? He was like, couldn't get like 2 words out of him, to be honest. And he was driving him home, And then he was getting job offers through, pinging me. The guy could see his phone. Ping, 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 see all the jobs come through. The guy accepted a job, right? 20 quid. So the guy seeing it, boom, 20 quid, boom, boom, right? Yeah? The guy then went, sorry, got to end journey here. To the driver, And he thought, hold on, all right, he's a bit bevied. All right, yes, sad, okay, whatever. And then drove him home and dropped him back out of his house for the original journey, right? And then I asked him, I go, check the passenger app. And he completed the job halfway to the destination, but still dropped him off, right? The only thing I can think of, right, is when he gets a follow-on job, he completes the job he's already on there and then.
But the thing is, right?
And then drops them off.
Yeah, but we all know when you've got an Uber, it's directing you. I'm guaranteeing that driver wouldn't know where he lived. So he's still following.
No, but if it opens in a third-party app, if it opens in Waze or Google Maps.
Oh, yeah, so he's following that instead of the... Yeah.
So what he's done is he's got a follow-on job, 21 quid. Then he completed the job he was on.
How many times has he done that then?
The journey, I'm guessing to either see where it's going or to start the next journey, while he still hadn't finished the drop. Which I just thought was absolutely, why? So the reason I brought it up, guys, if you're listening and you're new to Uber, you do not have to complete the journey you're on to see your next follow-on job. It automatically does it when you drop them off. All right, Puddin'? All right, guys? I just thought to mention it, guys. I thought it was flipping daft, to be honest. But yeah, honestly, half price he got when he got dropped off because the fella completed it on the way.
Strange.
Nuts.
I don't know why.
What?
Why has he done that?
I don't know. I can't even. That's the only thing I can assume.
And I bet he's getting on that bloke who the Uber driver was, and thinking, why is my salary half the amount? I don't get it.
That's what I mean. He must be losing so much money.
Yeah.
So much money. If he's doing that on every job.
But when you drop off early, sometimes, are you sure you want to complete it? It says that, doesn't it? It comes up in red.
Does it still do that? I haven't dropped off.
It happened to me the other day because I took someone to Meadowhall, and when they put in Meadowhall, it gives certain things, and I always say to them, what part of Meadowhall do you want to go? Main entrance, Argos, yeah. I drop them off at Argos, but they've put Marks and Spencer's, which is bang opposite, which is about 3/4 of a mile, and it always comes up, are you sure you want him to complete it? Oh, no, is this job complete or something like that? I can't remember now. So he must...
So that's what I'm trying to say. When he gets his next job, he completes the job he's on. I don't know if he starts the next one or what, but for some reason he completes the job he's on once he's accepted a follow-on. He must be costing him a flipping fortune, mustn't it? Right, talking about cross-border hiring, because it was an out-of-town plate, by the way. But yeah, cross-border hiring, right? This is a bit of a weird one. So you know North Yorkshire, the mayor has backed Andy Burnham, saying that he wants to support taxi licensing reform, which is big for Yorkshire anyway. So you got Manchester, Yorkshire backing him, a few more big councils, big mayors. It could actually change something, in the future, right? But then what was quite funny is they're backing Andy Burnham, who wants taxi licensing reform and everything else. StreetCars backed Andy Burnham as well, publicly, the director of StreetCars, a couple of weeks ago. He has just advertised last week that he's taken on Knowsley drivers.
What does that mean?
Well, Mick's not even listening.
I am. I'm trying to work that out.
What? Right, so Andy Burnham, right, so York. Yeah, so York has backed Andy Burnham because of cross-border plates, out-of-town plates. So then StreetCars has come out and said that they obviously support Andy Burnham with out-of-town plates. All the plates should be within the area they live. StreetCars is a Manchester-based private hire company. Yeah, and they have Wolverhampton, they have all sorts of out-of-town plates anyway. Yeah, but they might have had the license years ago.
Yeah.
But after him backing Andy Burnham for taxi plate licensing reform, he's just publicly advertised that he can now accept Knowsley plated drivers, which is
coming out of
Liverpool, yeah. So
they totally contradicted themselves then, yeah?
Yeah. That's technically what he's doing is the cross-border hiring thing. They don't want out-of-town plates no more. But yet now they've just publicly got a Knowsley operator's license. So now Knowsley, you can work for StreetCars as Knowsley. Because Knowsley and Sefton been a big thing in Manchester for years. They kind of been doing it well before Wolverhampton done it. There's loads of Manchester and Sefton drivers in Manchester, you see.
Baffles me that.
Could have been.
I'm trying to work it out and I can't.
It stunned me.
I'm just seeing what you want to say about it.
How? How can they do that? Unless you got people in streetcars. You got like certain people. Like I don't know. So I don't know who runs it. So if there's 6 people that have got shares in it or whatever, half of them have said, "Yeah, we back Andy Burnham," but then the other lot are saying, "No, we want."
No, the only thing I can say is because they're so close. I reckon he applied for an Knowsley operator's license before they backed him.
Yeah.
I reckon that could possibly, do you know what I mean? So they backed Andy Burnham for sorting out cross-plate out of border hiring. And then they got a Knowsley operator's license 2 weeks later. I'm assuming he must have applied beforehand. But it just doesn't look good, does it? They're backing the thingy, and then Knowsley drivers can now work for the airport company that was backing out of plate drivers. Do you know what I mean?
This is why fucking... Oh, swearing, sorry. I'm sick of hearing about Andy Burnham trying to battle this out of thingy. He's just doing it for the front, I think.
So Andy Burnham?
Yeah. I honestly...
getting public like votes and that?
No, yeah, maybe he might get votes out of it, but I just feel like there's no way, ever since like that time when he come back and went, look, it's law. I can't do much about it, it's law. You telling me a mayor of a city didn't know that already before fighting it?
He did say though, I asked. He says, I'm going to try. He said, I ask. I said, I ask. I try.
But he kind of, the way he said it and come back about it was like when he got told it's law, it's government law.
Yeah, because he literally, that's what he said. He went, I'm going to go to Parliament, I'm going to fight it, I'm going to tell them we need change and all that. And then got loads of everyone riled up, didn't he? And then when he went there, he come back and had an interview and went, it's law, nothing can be done.
Like, you telling me he didn't know that previous?
Yeah, 100%. But I think if you keep chipping at something like that and keep pushing it, and like, so if you get backings of like the big, like, look at this, the mayor of London has the power to control the private hiring and taxi industry. Outside of London, no mayors have power. It's all UK law. So that's why you can't work. A Wolverhampton plated Uber can't work London, because London mayor said only TfL can work London. And then that's happened, that's law. But Andy Burnham hasn't got the power to say the exact same. Only Greater Manchester plates can work Manchester. That's the issue. Do you know what I mean?
I just feel like he's had a lot of noise. It's
politician for you.
Emails or whatever, blah blah blah, and he's just in emotion. Yeah, I'm trying to do something, but he's not really hard-hearted. That's why when I hear his name, I'm just like, whatever. Again.
It's a political thing that he's doing it, and nothing that's going to change.
He's got to show some sort of remorse of I'm trying. Do you know what I mean?
Did they have any local elections in the last month in Manchester?
I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure the local elections are due in though.
There were some last week, weren't there? But I don't know what area it was. I'm just wondering if he's doing it for because it's due.
Well, normally, don't the politicians normally go, whatever people are really annoyed at, we'll focus or say that we're going to stop it?
Yeah.
So, as an example, Reform is trying to get in and he's saying, we're going to stop the boats.
Yep.
Because a lot of people have the problem with the illegal boats. Do you know what I mean? So that's why he's pushing. Do you know what I mean? Then if the public wants, I don't know, everyone to wear a pink hat, or like most of the public want that, then they'll go, when I get in power, we'll make sure everyone has a pink hat. Do you know what I mean? So do you reckon that's the type of thing he's doing?
Yep.
He knows that a lot of Manchester wants this to happen. So that's why he feel like he's pushing it. Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. For like you say, for votes.
Possibly. So what about Knowsley? You know, obviously now Knowsley can drive for StreetCars, right? So I don't know if you know Mark Mickle, no. But Knowsley's been kind of like Wolverhampton, right? Yeah? Providing plates for outside of Liverpool. Yeah,
Yep.
Done it for years, right? Manchester and Manchester's filled with Knowsley and Sefton drivers, or Liverpool, right? They're doing it for years, but Wolverhampton has done it on a grand scheme, like the grand scale, right? But what's problem is now is because Knowsley's been doing it for years, he can't handle processing stuff. And one of the lads in our group, Mike, he's just applied for his renewal, 10 or 14 days before it was due. And they said the next appointment is mid-July for his plate.
Yeah, it's
So
because they've
literally-
got one MOT testing centre.
That was what I was just about to say to you. They've got one MOT centre for the whole of like Northwestern drivers.
We
Do you
have
know what I
one
mean?
for Sheffield.
What?
We've just got one test centre for Sheffield.
Have you really?
Yep.
So you have to take your car to the one test centre?
Yep.
Right.
Thing is, with him, because we get reminders about 2 months before, so you've got like 8 weeks
To book in.
Yeah. Well, what Sheffield do, they send out the date that you do it.
So they schedule it themselves, kind of bad.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So they just schedule their own drivers and keep on top of the dates.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. See, the big difference with Sheffield, though, mate, look at Kyle struggling to pass the test.
I know.
So Sheffield, mate, is very difficult to get your test, where Knowsley is very easy. There's no knowledge test or very basic rules and regulations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the major issue between the two. But Liverpool has an MOT station, but all MOT garages can do Liverpool, as long as it's authorised by the council. Do you know what I mean? Is someone having a straightener there, Mick?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
What is it? I can't hear it.
I do hear it. My volume's that loud to hear it. The podcast might not be able to hear it though.
Say, you're both really quiet for me. Really quiet.
Oh yeah.
You're a full whack.
Yeah, I can hear like Lego fighting or something like that. Is he fighting with Lego, Mick, or blocks?
Oh,
I heard that. What was that? He's just emptied the box, hasn't he?
yeah.
So we can't have a final podcast about our kids getting involved, can we?
I don't know why.
What's he doing?
Yeah, mate, Mick, that's loud, that loud. What's he doing?
Is it loud now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly, yeah. But like I said, your mic, for some reason, is picking up a lot of background noise we never used to.
He's just basically knocking shit off the toy box.
Well, luckily, guys, it's our last podcast anyway, so who cares, eh? Oh, God. But yeah, honestly, what are we talking about? Yeah, so you're at the MLT station, right? That's the thing that's an issue, is Knowsley's very fast, very easy, so a lot of the process of plates and stuff quite quickly. And then you've got the one MLT station and loads of drivers in the Northwest applying for the station, do you know what I mean, for the station. Where Sheffield is a lot slower because it's a lot harder. And it sounds like they're giving the appointments out for the MLTs. That's interesting, that, because we've got to apply. We've got to kind of like book in our own dates and stuff.
Yeah, because what they do is, because obviously your car license badge, whatever it is, it runs out like yours. It runs out at the end of the month, don't it?
Yeah.
They will send out the date and time, and the last few that I've had have always been at the beginning of the month. I think they might send them out at the beginning of the month in case you need to have them redone. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I get you. Yeah, so with me, my MLT was due at the end of the month on the 25th. I've already got my new plate and everything done, and it's the 12th. Because I went to Liverpool, I got my MLT appointments, which was the following week. And then the week after the MLT, I got a phone call saying to take the payment for the plate. And the next day I picked up my plate. So within a 2-week window, start to finish,
Yeah.
I got my plate and I was done. Where Mike applied 2 weeks before he was up for renewal. And he's not going to get his MLT done until the middle of July.
So what will happen then? Will they extend his plate that he's got now?
He's off the road 2 days. He's been off the road for 2 days.
So he can't work now till July.
Yeah. How bad's that? Yeah, 2 months. 2 months without it. He hasn't got a car now. So the only option just now is park his car up and go and try and get a settle car, or try and get a cancellation appointment.
Knowsley needs to sort it out, though. I know Mike's left it a little bit late, but at the end of the day...
He did leave it a little bit late. He should have done it a month earlier, at least.
Yeah, but even if he'd done it a month, their wait time's 2 months, so he would have been 4 weeks off the road straight away anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you're Knowsley played
no one thinks of doing it like 2 months in advance or 3 months in advance. Do you know what I mean?
3-4 weeks, I'd say. 3-4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. You probably think, I'll start looking for my appointment now, just in case. Do you know what I mean? But Knowsley needs to sort it out. Sefton, Liverpool, there's 10, 15 garages that you can go to.
Yeah.
What is the difference between? And I know what the difference is. It's all about the money. They want the money for the testing of the MOT.
I get you, because that makes a good point, because they get the money for the plate. So I paid 170 quid for my plate for the year, but I paid 50 quid to the MOT service station.
Yeah. Yeah,
so what I said, the council wants the 50 quid as well.
But they want the MOT money as well.
I get you, but what I've heard a rumour, I don't know how true it is at the moment, but I've heard the rumour that at the end of the year, they're doing the same thing. End of this year, end of summer, they're going to be giving other garages access because they just can't handle it. They just give too many.
They need to, don't they?
I just can't believe, like, now Mike's off the road for two months.
Proof's in the pudding if they're putting people out off road like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's loads that are in the same boat as them, so like you can't even go out squeeze
it in. If you want the money, then spend all that money that they've made off these MOTs. They can open another garage.
But
pay another couple of workers to come in the garage and work.
But that, if
you know
you
what I
flip
mean?
it though, that's telling you how many taxi drivers are out there. Then, if he's got to wait 2 months, if you've got that many MOT stations to do it, well, 2 months for them. Well, how many stations did you say? There's about 14 stations you can go to.
Oh no, that's for Liverpool and Sefton. For Knowsley, they have one.
All right, okay, got you.
That's the issue, mate. With Knowsley, it's like Sheffield.
Liverpool and Sefton allow external garages apply to be a certified private hire MOT station. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas Knowsley don't allow other external garages to apply for that.
So if you think about it, just say there's 5,000 Knowsley drivers who live in Liverpool, and there's 5,000 Knowsley drivers who live in Manchester. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple of hundred up in Blackpool and Preston.
Oh, I was in Burnley the other day, and there was Knowsley drivers all over there.
In Burnley, that's my whole point. All them drivers have got to go to the same MOT station, which is in Huyton. Do you know what I mean? Where Wolverhampton has done it right. Wolverhampton is up and down the country, but I think you can go to any MOT place for Wolverhampton. Do you know what I mean? You just need to get a standard MOT, and then they'll accept that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they've done it. At least they're doing it where it's not causing bad delays like that. Well, like Knowsley I've had. Do you know what I mean? But there's another thing I wanted to talk about, and I know it's again Veezu again. It comes up nearly every week.
Is your lad playing with matches, Mick, or something?
Yeah. Is he setting your living room on fire? Is he, Mick? Yeah.
Oh, that was
amazing. Like loads of smoke coming across the screen.
Not only is he knocking things down, he's setting things alight now.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Mick, the driving instructor.
I'm going to throw him out the window in a minute.
Oh, God. Oh, listen, it's the last pod. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter, does it? It's all fun and games, mate. It's all fun and games. But yeah, what you call it with Veezu? I want to talk to you guys. I know, obviously, we brought it up for the last few weeks, but they're buying more and more companies, guys. Like, I can't comprehend how big Veezu has got in literally like 2-3 months. They bought more company and now they're in Norfolk. They just bought the biggest company in Norfolk now. Norwich. So they're literally one of the biggest companies down on that side of the country. They own Manchester, Liverpool, rumoured to buy Delta, which are probably a lie. Do you know what I mean? They're up in, I think, Wigan. Did you know they bought the last St. Helens firm, Mick?
St. Helens firm.
So St. Helens had like 2 free private hire companies for St. Helens.
Yeah, well, I
They
was in
bought,
St. Helens the other day and they was crawling with Veezu.
mate, they bought every
Crawling with them.
company.
That's why then.
Veezu is now St. Helens.
Yeah.
St. Helens is like a small town, Mark, right? It's not like big as Sheffield. It's like, like an out of town, St. Helens. It's pretty big, but it's not huge, right? There was 2 or 3. One major one, which was Britannia, and then 2 little ones. It was ABC. I'm not ABC, but there was a couple of little ones, private hire local companies. Veezu's bought every one in St. Helens now.
Yeah,
So the only private hire company in St. Helens is Veezu and Uber.
They've got a big mega store darts shop in St. Helens, and then I was walking around the city centre the other day because I went to get a new dartboard, new darts and stuff. And literally every taxi was Veezu.
Wow.
Every taxi.
That's what I respect about them. For one, they're local, they're UK based, which I think is great. Do you know what I mean? We should get behind that to a certain degree, right? And 2, they're buying already established businesses, which is unreal. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine trying to get a cut. Imagine you creating your own. Like, there's loads of people like Messi saying, "Oh, I'm creating my own app. I'm going to compete with Uber and stuff." And it's like Barry, who still lives with his own as Ma. He's never going to be flipping challenging anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you've got a multi-million pound and you're buying, like, imagine if Veezu come in now and bought Alpha, Delta, One Call. They already own Britannia.
Yeah.
Veezu would own Liverpool outside of Uber. So then
I think they will eventually, though.
Uber then. Do you know what I mean?
Sell.
I don't reckon Alpha will sell. Alpha's massive. I've got a feeling if Veezu's going to buy anything in Liverpool, I'd say Delta and One Call would want to go.
Who's the biggest firm then? Alpha.
Alpha.
And how many cars have they got?
2,000 maybe, 1,500.
That's City, who are Veezu now. They were well over 2,000, and they bought them.
I think anyway, when the price is right, mate, I think anything's right. I'm not saying that it won't be off the mark, but Delta used to be the biggest, and I think Delta's fallen down a bit. The problem you got with One Call, it's 4 companies in one umbrella, so I think you'd have to try and convince all 4 companies to sell. I think One Call would be quite tricky to go. But yeah, I just can't get over how much they're literally buying everyone out. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Let me just go for the comments there quick, actually. Mick, have you started instructing yet?
No. Not till the end of June, maybe early July.
I am asking that question. I think that was over the money, wasn't it? Yeah, Uber keeping the money. Okay, is Uber profitable? Yes, for Uber. It can't be resolved cross-border hiring. It can be, but it'll be over time framed, I reckon. Have same rules for private hire. But mate, I've talked about this, Kate, and you guys can agree or disagree with this. At the moment, people are going to plates because they're quicker or easier, aren't they? Yeah, because there's a delay here. Sheffield's hard, so we go to Wolverhampton, blah, blah, blah. Restrictions. If the government's come out and said every council has to be minimum this price, minimum this test, minimum this whatever. Do you know, like a blanket rule for all?
Yeah, don't even need that.
Go on then, what do you reckon you need then?
They just need to come out and set the rule is if you are applying for a private hire badge, you need to apply with the council you are living under.
Yep. Or a 10-mile radius or something like that.
Not even,
if you live in a small village, you might have to go to the
you're paying your council tax to Liverpool City Council. You have to apply to Liverpool City Council for your private hire badge.
You can still work anywhere as like Uber, anyway. You can still travel and stuff like that. But it's more the fact of you have to license where you live.
Yeah. And then if there's queues, you go in a waiting list and you wait. Go and find yourself something else for the time being. Go and do some deliveries, do something else. If you've got to wait, you've got to wait. Simple as.
Maybe we talked about this because people say, oh, is there too many drivers? Because, back in the day, like you just exactly said, mate, when I first applied, we have a choice of 3. Sefton, Knowsley, Liverpool, they're our 3, right? At the time, I didn't know nothing about the taxis, nothing about private hire, right? And I just applied for Sefton because I heard they were quicker, right? Still took me about 6-7 months to get my badge. It took, processing speeds. So in those 6 months of me trying to get my badge, right? How many people left? Yeah. It could be close to a 1 in, 1 out in that area.
Yeah.
1 in, 1 out. 2 in, 2 out. 1 in, 2 out. And it kind of keeps the balance of drivers. Just say the balance is 1,000 active drivers. 10 leave, 10 come in, 12 leave, 15 come in. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that cycle. So what happened is Wolverhampton come in. I know they keep getting mentioned, but they streamlined the taxi process. And where Sefton was 6 months wait, Knowsley was 6 months wait, Liverpool was a month wait, but Liverpool's hard to get your badge. So you go to Wolverhampton and you get one in 10 days. So instead of waiting 6 months for your badge, we'll get new drivers every 10 days. Every 10 days. So by that time, 10 were leaving at Sefton, 30 were coming in at Wolverhampton, 10 was leaving at Sefton, 40 was coming in at Wolverhampton, and that's where the balance got throughout. Do you know what I mean? And that's where people say Wolverhampton's the issue. And I read a fun fact, by the way, out of every private hire licence outside of the TfL, 40% is Wolverhampton. Licensed drivers, 40%.
So just under half of tax private hire licenses are Wolverhampton.
Yeah. In certain areas, do you know what I mean? I don't mean it's like UK wide, because it's like Scotland and stuff like that. But I'm on in certain areas, you're close to 40-50% of Wolverhampton drivers.
That's why
I bet you still see a Lego plate in Scotland.
I'd probably definitely agree with that. Yeah. Honestly, there'd be some company in Scotland that's got an ops license for Wolves, hasn't it?
You go round the Loch Ness Sea, I bet you see a Lego plate.
Just as an example, right, the population of Wolverhampton is 250,000. And there's 45,000 plated private hire drivers in the UK on Wolverhampton. So nearly the whole, what's that, a quarter nearly? A third of the population of the whole town has got a private hire badge. Come on, lads. Kids, grandmas, oh, come on. And that's an issue. They just streamlined it, mate. Streamlined it. Andy, when are you coming on the pod, lad? It is the last podcast for us three, the Three Musketeers, as like the news elements of it. But I could still make space for you.
That's what I would ask you. You know, we're on about licenses and that lot. When you come to do your, your ops license, you can only get work from the council that you're with, yeah?
What do you mean?
Ops license. So I'm a Sheffield driver. If I got me a Sheffield license, I can't go into other cities and work.
I can't give you a job, can I?
No, right?
Yeah.
So why can't they do that with private hire licenses? Just stop like that. It's like what Mick was saying. You can only get your license for the postcode that you live in, that the council. Why can't they do that like they do with the ops license? Why is it so hard to be? Why are they so different?
Yeah, that's a thing they could do, and that's a thing they literally could do. Do you want a private hire license, mate? Yeah, you need to have a postcode within this region.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, no, but then there'd be 150,000 PO boxes in Wolverhampton. That's your issue. If you lived in Liverpool, what's your home address, mate? PO 146 Wolverhampton, UK. Do you know what I mean? They do it, the ops license. That's the problem. Did you know that you don't need to live in Wolverhampton to have an ops license, Wolverhampton? You just need a PO box. There's people in Wolverhampton, there's people with an ops license in Liverpool.
That's why I don't think they'll ever be able to stop it.
What?
It would never. That's why I generally don't think it would never be stopped. This cross-bordering malarkey and it would never. It won't happen
unless a regulation comes in that stops it.
But then they won't because they make more money out of it,
like
don't they?
Said, if the UK law come out and goes, example, Wolverhampton Council, you cannot plate. You don't give a badge to a private hire driver unless he has these set requirements, and has a Wolverhampton postcode. No PO boxes allowed, and that's it. Then you can't deny that, can they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Some councils don't. Some councils don't allow PO boxes.
Anyone on a current badge, your renewals, you need to renew with the council that you're with.
Exactly, and that's where the time frame comes in. You can stay Wolverhampton badge, mate, no problemo. But after 2 years or 3 years, when your badge is up for renewal, You cannot renew unless you live here.
Yeah, because I was talking to someone about it the other day, because we talked about the subject ages ago, and saying like if the ruling ever did come in, it won't. They say it won't come in because of it'll take too long to get a new badge. So they say like, say if I'm a Wolverhampton,
No, because the
and
reason why
they turn around and say to me, "You've got a year to get your Sheffield license," it won't happen because like Liverpool, did you say it's like a 6-month waiting list?
Liverpool's quite short because it's hard to get.
Right. So
the
do you
reason
reckon
why
it could be
won't
like because you can get yearly renewals, can't you? So like, say if I was a Wolverhampton and I've got to go to Sheffield, right? They could turn and say, right, you've got 3 years from this date to get it.
Yeah.
That's the only way they can do it, isn't it?
Yeah, they can put you on temporary badges. If for instance, you could say they could bring out if they brought it in. This is the way to do it. They can bring it in. I'm not, and I'll talk about the I can't get the word out. I can't say it.
What are you not trying to get? Consequences?
Repercussions.
Repercussions, yeah.
Repercussions afterwards, right? Right. They could say anyone that's under 12 months will extend you another 12 months for you to start the process with your local council. Blah blah blah. We'll give you the temporary license. You pay for a year. Blah blah blah. You can do all that. That's not a problem. That's the way to solve it. But they won't do that because of the repercussions that it's going to have. Is people are going to be falling off. They'll end up back onto the dole. All that supply. They're putting all the money in. They'll end up the universal credits will start paying out. The reason, look at the job centres now. They just had them out. Oh, can you drive? Yeah. Have you had a license for over 2 years? Yeah. Yeah. Well, go and get your taxi badge. That's him. Boom, gone. Not paying on the payroll for the universal credits.
Do you think because it can't be a coincidence that Wolverhampton started obviously processing loads of badges, right? And then all of a sudden Wolverhampton region went into our region. That can't be a coincidence, surely. All the upper powers have got to be working or communicating somehow. Do you know what I mean? Because Wolverhampton at one point is getting that many badges out, the drivers have nowhere to work on Uber. You could only work in Birmingham and Wolverhampton, and it was getting inundated.
Someone higher up in the government might
Wolverhampton just got on the phone to blow at Uber. Can you somehow let these work in Manchester, mate? We can't give any more badges out. There's one per street.
Yeah, this is where little brown envelopes might have come involved.
Do you think someone somewhere is getting an up?
No, 100%. 100%.
What's you with me?
100%, mate. But like I said, that's what happened. That's literally what happened. Wolverhampton started processing the badges dead fast, right? Because I'm assuming Uber needed Uber drivers, right? Because with their plan of replacing the public transport, you need a lot more Uber drivers than you had a lot more private hire drivers back in the day. Because with their model, it's cheaper numbers.
You think Uber's the problem then for cross-border?
Well, to be honest, yeah, 100%. Ignore Bolt, and Bolt's still UK.
Uber can stop it now. Uber can make a hell of a lot better for drivers with a flick of a switch.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Uber right now, could stop every problem right now with what literally tomorrow. And it would be dead simple. Hey, you can't work outside where you live.
Yeah, but they won't do that.
And that's why I think Uber's going to go one way. I think Uber will do something eventually, but I don't think they're going to stop it. What they're going to do is they're going to open it up to everyone.
They can't. It used to be like that, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think I reckon that's how it's going to go. I know it.
That's what.
So
Uber
I could drop off at Manchester Airport.
You could do
it. Get a job.
But they'll just have to exclude London.
Yeah. But that's a thing as well. They included Wolverhampton with the Northwest. Do you know what I mean? So what's stopping bringing Sheffield into the Northwest and Wolverhampton, and what's stopping then the Northeast joining us?
Because if you think about right, say that's my head, right? That's Sheffield. You're up here. You can work all the way down there, and I can't do that, and I can't do that. Eventually, you're going to come down like that and go.
Honestly, mate, and it's because we was in the Northwest, like the Northeast, like South Yorkshire, like North Yorkshire. We were all in our own little bubble, and then because Wolverhampton needed space to expand, they included us into the Northwest, and that's where That's what I say. It's the touched and untouched, isn't it? Always feels like everyone outside of that area is a lot busier because of that reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm probably going to end the podcast now, but we can keep it live if you want. I've just got to literally say the words. The podcast is over, and then we can just chill for a little bit if you want. And also, you know what? Morning, Andy and Jim. Yeah, mate, work can be passed between operators. But what I was trying to get at, Mark hasn't got an ops license, so an op couldn't send Mark a job because I'm not Sheffield
No.
Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? But listen, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. For the last 50 episodes, I've got to say thank you very much for watching, listening, and doing what you need to do. Obviously, the content is still going to continue on. I'll still get the odd episode. I'm still going to get us free on the odd live and stuff like that. Just the actual weekly podcast is over as of 3, 2, 1.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
That's mine, that.